Hi class, this is Josue. I'll be talking over market strategies, positioning, and marketing objectives. This is part of chapter 8, and it's the chapter assignment number 4. The assignment says, the owner of a small hospitality and travel business has asked you for some help in developing marketing objectives. What general guidelines would you suggest for objective setting? Detail how you would help the owner develop these objectives. Develop a set of hypothetical or real objectives for the business. So here are some key terms that will help you better understand this presentation and follow along. And also, if you would like to follow along in the book, the pages for this chapter are found from 253 to 258. Marketing strategy is the selection of a course of action from among several alternatives that involves specific customer groups, communication methods, distribution channels, and pricing structures. So marketing structure is important because there's a lot of different ways that you can go about to market, but depending on who you're marketing to, where they live, where your location is, how they like to receive their information, what's their income level, you might need to implement different marketing strategies for different businesses and different situations. And then there's a marketing objective, which is a measurable result that a hospitality or travel organization attempts to achieve. And this result has to be measurable, how it says, so that you can say, oh, in a year, I want to increase my revenue by 5% or by 10%. So objective is just a good goal that you can achieve. It's not something that's just up in thin air, but something that you can put down on paper, on a spreadsheet, and calculate it. You could graph it, and you can see that the efforts that you put into marketing have either increased your revenue, or maybe the revenue has stayed the same, or it could even decline. Maybe your efforts have just not been working at all, and there's just no business happening around that area, so you might want to shut down, um, move locations, or so forth. And then positioning approach is quite interesting because it has that psychological effect on customers based off your marketing, that when they know of your business, they're going to have a specific place in their minds that they think of when they think of the company and their marketing. So I decided to just make up a hypothetical traveling and hospitality company called Cargo Rides, which would be based in Denver, because I feel like there's a lot of opportunity for this business. Um, a lot of people like to ride bikes in Denver, and you have the mountains to go do tours in. And just a little bit of information of this hypothetical company, of a small company, is that we would have just experts, Colorado natives, who know the roads of the Front Range. They're experts on road bike and mountain biking, and I mean just things on the side that they could offer transportation. Um, they could do maintenance lessons and a repair shop. Ideally, since it's in Denver, um, people would like it to be located near restaurants, near cafes where they could access the internet, um, just near a lot of different entertainment spots. Um, so the first thing I would tell the business owner would to choose a target market focus. Here I've chosen to do a single target market strategy, and that's just selecting one group of people and just ignoring all the other population that you can advertise to. This would just help out because since it's for cyclists, you don't want to be marketing to football players, or um, you don't want to be marketing to people that like to go to the movies, because you're gonna market for your daily rider who commutes to work, your daily rider who does bike and train to school. Um, but with that being said, this would be older groups and individuals around 30 to 50 years old. There would be people coming from a family of educated middle class, and have disposable income. They'd be into that fitness lifestyle. They're outdoor lovers. With their jobs, they would have frequent paid time off. This wouldn't be for a long vacation, say like a long planned trip to Europe or to some place in South America. This would be more of like a short weekend, 3-day vacation. And the population would always also be people living in the Front Range area and possibly neighboring states, say Wyoming, Nevada, Utah, but it wouldn't be targeted towards foreigners. Maybe the occasional foreigner who's just like amazed with the Rocky Mountains, they might come for like once in a lifetime trip, but we wouldn't have occasional foreign visitors. So now I'll transition over to determining the industry sector position. The 4 industry position categories are leaders, challengers, followers, and nichers. I would classify cargo rides as a follower because after doing some little bit of research on TripAdvisor, there's already some established companies that have the majority of the market share. This would be the company Denver Adventures, and they just offer a wide range of activities for families and small groups, and most people would go through them because they're more well known and it's kind of for everyone to go with. And it's also not a challenger because I found that the number 2 company is called Mile High Bike Tours, and they have the second largest market share. And as being a small company, Cargo Rides would just be following most of the trends going on in the bike touring companies, and they wouldn't be nichers. I think they could become nichers if they added something else to their marketing strategies, such as like making specific tours like breweries or things like that. But for the most part, they're followers, and they would market around being followers. Next, to formulate the marketing strategy, the owner would need to identify the product life cycle stage, and the 4 product life cycle stages are introduction, growth, maturity, and decline. I'm assuming the bike touring service in Colorado is not new, so it's already past the introduction stage, and it's past its growth stage as well because there's already other established bike touring companies. So it might be that a maturity or decline. I'm going with maturity, assuming that the economy is still pretty good right now and people do like going on adventures on the weekends. So it might be at a little slowdown in the rate of sales to growth, but it hasn't stopped at all. So cargo bikes can benefit from implementing the market modification strategy. Here the company would just add a variety of different activities towards bike touring. So they can add like mountain biking, they can do like holiday bike rides or bike rides to breweries or different restaurants. And this would kind of just possibly entice non-users to become into users. Maybe if they go on a bike to the movies one day, they'll just like it so much and become more frequent riders. Or if they vary their uses, say there's already a mountain biking company, but they just enjoyed mountain biking with the older group, a more sophisticated group, they can go after the competitors' customers and convert them. And then there's also a positioning approach. Out of the 6 positioning approaches, I said user category would be what fits most with cargo rides, because cargo rides already knows that they have a older target market, and they would want to approach their customers and know that they have high quality service available for the sophisticated customers. They would know when they are going to go on a bike ride, they're not going to be around small kids They're not going to be around teenagers. It's all going to be older people that have more disposable income without thinking about it. So whenever they see advertisements for family rides or just smaller rides, they would know to ignore those advertisements and relate to the high upper class bike tours. Now that the owner understands the marketing strategy, formulation, and the positioning approach, they would want to make a marketing objective. And the 4 requirements of the marketing objective would help it see results. So they would, of course, market towards that specific population, and they would want to see results. For this, I would suggest that he makes a spreadsheet and records all the data possible, and he gives him or herself a time frame to see these results. The book says most companies make a marketing objective to be 1 or 2 years out. So say in 2 years, they would want to say, well, we want to see 5,000 new riders every 2 years. And this would satisfy the time specific and quantitative results. Overall, all these things would help the small business owner improve their sales, because if they record the data and analyze it and graph it and they don't see the sales revenue increase, then it might not be something to do with their marketing. Rather, they need to focus on their service. There might be something not aligning with what they're advertising to their customers and what the customers are receiving. Okay, class, I hope you guys were able to follow along with my presentation. For the works cited, I used the book and I used TripAdvisors to compare real life companies out there and to see how this company would hypothetically work out. And yeah.